All right, honey. You know what we're going to talk about today?
I just show up
Wherever we roll, we roll.
wherever the road takes me.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
All right. Well, we had an interesting couple of days.
Okay.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
All right. You've been going through some stuff.
Okay.
Little existential crisis or spiritual crisis or
Yeah.
things like that. And it was pretty hard for me to hear. And I think we handled it pretty well, though.
Yeah, I think so. Just really feeling weird, feeling strange. I've been feeling like that for a long time, but something just kind of clicked the past few days. I don't know if the way the stars are aligning. I don't know if we are in the fifth dimension, the way the earth is going from a 3D dimension, whatever all this spiritual stuff is, or...
But from my perspective, it was more of a snap and a shock. And you said some pretty hard things that I had to deal with.
I suppose. And it's just what's on my mind and what's my feelings.
And that's okay. So,
And I can't hide them. How long are you going to cheat on your wife from, like, not telling her how you feel?
Yeah, but you didn't cheat.
I didn't cheat.
All right, let's get into it. I'm Amy.
I'm Joe.
And we're the Rolling Rogans. Buckle up for loony midlife tales and caregiving chaos.
It's time to draw on the art of aging. Hey, Rolling Rogans family.
Please like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
Before you forget.
Let's keep rolling together.
So my version of cheating is not being honest and telling you everything because it hurts one
and your
to
emotions.
know about.
Yeah.
And for you, sometimes it's the same. You don't want me to know about your health.
Right. I definitely don't tell you all the pain that I feel, all the emotions that I feel with the stress of managing all my things at the same time.
Right. Because it just kind of perpetuates into something worse.
Right. And I feel like we have kind of been distant lately.
We have, for sure, because I've been sleeping in the house.
And I've been sleeping in the trailer.
And I take care of my mom in the mornings. And you're pretty much like throughout taking care of stuff inside here, the behind stuff, the doctors, the logistics.
And it kind of felt like, I think when one of the things that you said was that you felt like I was hiding in here.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that was part of it. Yeah.
And I think what really, in my opinion, what triggered everything, which is kind of interesting, that it's funny how small things can trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And it essentially, from my perspective, is when I asked you to help me clean the trailer.
That would be...
to me, that was the catalyst of what exposed everything.
Yes.
So I have a hard time cleaning the trailer because my allergies, the mast cell activation, it's not just the dust and the actual particles, but it's the movements and the vacuuming and things like that. So I have reactions. And so I asked for your help. But you said that you felt spread thin, right?
I'm spreading myself thin because I'm taking care of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking care of what's inside the house. We cook also.
Mm-hmm. We cook together, though, most of the time.
We do. Working on outside activities. I'm working on Celeste's yard as well because that gives me supplemental income.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not a free ride here.
Mm-mm. We're working our asses off.
Yeah, we are totally working our asses off. And so working on the yard, I don't know. It's just there's a lot. The book especially, trying to finish the book.
And that's an emotional journey
like pulling
in the
this,
first place.
pulling that, and there's that great author that I have not finished the book, which is called Finish. The irony,
the irony
of that. But a few of the chapters that I was able to get through is like you have to bomb things, and bombing things will actually get you to get the real stuff that you should be doing instead of like hiding around excuses as well of like why you're not getting stuff done,
right?
Kind of thing like that.
When I asked you to help me clean the trailer, my expectation of the bombing was like, okay, we'll just pay somebody to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we can't just keep throwing money around.
No.
So that wasn't, but then it opened up just the whole can of worms.
Right. And there was one night that I said something that I wish I didn't say, and I can't take that back. And that was like when I looked around after we watched the show, because some of the routine is after we cook dinner and we're done, we go back out to the trailer and watch a show. One of our favorite shows is Food Wars. I highly recommend it. It's an anime. It's all about cooking and foodgasm.
They're high school students. That's kind of
Uh,
creepy, but whatever.
whatever. They don't look. They have boobs.
Anyways, I keep getting the munchies every time I
Yeah.
watch that too. But
Yeah, seriously. But
that's
that's
been
just
our
like
relaxation.
our alone time together, relaxation. But then after the show is over, before I said goodnight and leave, because I stay in the house, I put mom to bed.
Mhm.
You know, I got to burp her, and
And we've been
yeah,
sleeping apart because of I toss and turn my pain, and we've
that
been
is
sleeping better
the difficult thing
for
is
our
like
health.
we do not sleep together.
But we're losing our intimacy as well
We've been losing our intimacy
for a while.
from a longer time and a longer period, and it's kind of just getting less and less from even the beginning of after your surgeries after
My
that.
last
So
hysterectomy, yeah,
yeah,
especially.
we try.
Mhm.
Just things haven't been quite in that department fully functioning and active, and
Nope.
so you try to find ways to be intimate as well.
And it's really just been
Yeah,
farther and farther apart. So
right.
the one night we were trying to just enjoy each other's company, watch TV, and you got up to leave, and what did you say?
I said, quote unquote, this place looks like shit. And I realized I
You
shouldn't have said that.
and you were pointing to papers,
Yep, there
and
were papers
things.
everywhere. There was like it was very disorganized. Like it didn't have the feng shui of
Mhm.
like a nice clean surface. And that was a trigger point for me because like I really like surfaces clean. I don't like it when things
And
are
that's an
starting to
issue
be
that I've
stacked
worked
and
on.
put on.
I've worked on before. I have papers around, but I've been
Right.
better.
Right.
And I would say most women would just really bite back and start screaming.
Right.
It took a lot in me to not. I think you might have probably saw my eyes bug out.
Yeah. But it had to come to my understanding too is your health reasons
And then,
because you
for that specific situation, I had just been
what
spent
do
like the
you
last 2-3 days taking care of your mom
right
while you went to
right
karate without me.
right.
So
What do you do when you get winded or you're dizzy or you're gonna about pass out because like
I have
you're
to sit
just doing
down.
a simple task,
Yeah.
and then you just start to realize that you know you need help as well,
Hmm.
and where can I provide all that help? Like I'm a caregiver for my mom and I'm a caregiver for you,
Right.
and that was the thing. Like
I mean, I try to be independent, but
yeah, but even like it just was a screwy situation. I really got into a funk. I guess I was in a downward spiral. And I was just like,
and I will say that the one pile of papers was all of your mom's neurological appointment paperwork that I was just collecting and putting together to take to the doctor for the new neurologist.
yeah,
That was one, but
that's not,
it's
we
not the
don't
full
need to
excuse.
find in my defense kind of thing. It just,
Right.
it was a shitty situation with a shitty
Mhm.
response. And I felt like shit and I didn't want to go to bed like that. So I apologized as much as I can, but you can't take it back.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But I was just frustrated and pissed off because you're going through hard times, I'm going through hard times, and
It's draining.
this is actually the interesting thing is as we're concluding and finishing this book called Happy Medium, and that was basically showing how you borrowed my belief that you'll get better,
Mhm.
and I worked my ass off for a good amount of years to provide the benefits and get like whatever health that you need.
Mhm.
And now it just kind of feels like it's not enough. Like it
Mhm.
just started to come back to like a rebound.
Well, thanks to COVID, part of it.
Thanks to COVID, thanks to not gonna get so political, but I am furious with our country and the way that they provide benefits and aid to
Mm.
certain people versus people that really need it.
Right.
Because what I find is like if we are gonna do the government like the benefits of being on disability,
Right.
it takes like 2 years and you have to have some kind of diagnosis where it's like I'll just make these running jokes. It's like, well, why don't we denounce our citizenship and come in as immigrants? And I'm not going to go further than that
Yeah.
because that seems to be an easier, faster way to do it.
Yeah.
So I like was just kind of it really,
You've
really pissed
you're
off.
at your tipping point,
I was
basically.
really at my tipping
Yeah.
point.
And then, the one night you walked out, and I can't quite remember exactly that night, and that was the night that you completely broke down. You were awake till, what you said, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you actually
I
were
could not
crying.
sleep. I was crying.
Yeah.
I was crying because there's a lot of things that I started to kind of go into my inner self
Mhm.
to explore, because I do think that the earth is vibrating on a higher frequency, to be honest.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of different kind of people are having hard time sleeping. They're having headaches, tinnitus, yada, yada, all the
Mhm.
symptoms and everything.
Yeah.
But for me, there's like a interesting awareness that I woke up after I did that healthy cry. And it was the weirdest thing because it was just kind of like, I really felt hollow inside.
The way you started describing it to me, it was very interesting.
Right. Like I understand that there is more than just this,
Mhm.
just functioning every day, living and breathing. I mean, that's what our vital body parts do.
Mhm.
But also, like, then I just ponder of these ideologies and these concepts that have put us into this structure of society of how we're supposed to live that actually feels like shackles and chains.
Right.
And it was like, to give you an example, I said something to you that was really sounds like it would be heartbreaking, but it wasn't directed towards you. It was directed at everything. It was directed at, like, basically I said, I don't know what love is. That was the
And
thing that really kind of like you started to
ooh, the tears
break
were
in
full.
tears.
Yeah, because we've been together for almost 30 years.
Right.
And to hear your husband say that to you
Mhm.
is just, it's a gut punch.
It
It was
is.
so difficult to sit and listen and to let you process your
Yeah,
emotions
yeah.
and to hold space and not try to take it personally. Like,
Right,
I'm trying, like, all these emotions were just running through my head.
right,
And you can't hide the tears. Like, it
right.
just can't.
Because well, I was just trying to distinguish things like, what does this all mean? Like, is it just because is love just a thing that you would say that so you have a pact towards somebody or something and you're
Hmm.
committed to doing everything for it, even though that can drain you, just kind of impede your ability to do things
Hmm.
in life. And that's not selfishness. I actually think there's a lot of different things here. Like I said, I'm on a spiritual awareness, and I think maybe there's 8 deadly sins, to be honest, and I think love is one of them.
Interesting.
But that is just a construct that is just like an easy way to play a game to make people commit to something only by a binding contract or a word
Hmm.
versus how you really feel about something and how you what is the difference between love and care, I guess, is the key that I'm trying to understand.
And this, to me, this makes sense because you are in this situation of taking care of all of us right now. You've got the
Mhm.
weight of the world on your shoulders.
Right.
And with your mom's narcissism and the repetitiveness and the difficulties of dementia and the negativity, and it's hard to identify love in that relationship.
Right.
And our relationship, the intimacy has waned, and it's, to me, it feels like a midlife crisis in a way, but it's not. I feel like it's a evaluation of perspective,
Hmm.
or just, yeah. I mean, with, because you have the wisdom of 48 years so far, and
Yeah.
you're just past that perfect midlife, line or whatever. But you're seeing, where are we going next and what's next, but also living in the present moment and feeling all of that.
Yes.
So then you brought out your iPad because we're both visual. So you
Right.
started drawing a yin yang,
Right.
which was fascinating
Right.
because our Rolling Rogans logo is
Is a
a
yin
yin
yang
yang.
in a sense. It cancels out and it's also in the plus. So it's like the perfect spatial relationship of how things are.
Right. And I also want to say that I think it's just a little ironic that you are feeling shackled during the 4th of July weekend
Yeah, that's
and
wild,
like
isn't it?
freedom and all this other
Yeah,
stuff. And
right,
you're
right.
like,
But it wasn't anything of the 4th of July or
no,
independence.
it
That
had
was
nothing
funny,
to do with that. We had a great 4th of July
Yeah,
party, actually.
right, right.
So we're processing all of
Right.
this while still going and visiting the neighbors and having your mom enjoy the 4th of July and watching fireworks. And it was just all in one day. It was like, oh my God, you're telling me you don't know what love is. Okay, let's go to a party now. I'm like, what
It's
the
like
hell?
I even had like jokes and like The Fifth Element where like I'm Lilu, like I don't know love is. Like I'm crying, like, see, but then I all of a sudden discover war, and then I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
Like it's just
That's
like that's the
I
thing.
would say
It's
that's
like
a very good analogy.
it really did
Yeah.
because I mean that's where I started to feel really hollow.
Mhm.
Like I started to feel like what was interesting. What I went through this different step, and this is no way I'm not suicidal.
Mm-mm.
I'm not thinking those kind of
And
thoughts.
you also reassured me that you weren't gonna leave me.
No,
You
I
weren't
was
cheating
gonna
on
stay.
me.
Yeah,
You weren't
I don't have any desire to be honest.
We're
Like I
best
don't have
friends.
any.
We're
Yeah,
best friends still, right?
that's the thing. Yeah, we're retarded for each
Yes.
other. I mean, that's what kind of elevates the word. If they're like, I've basically
That's
canceled.
Gen X.
I've canceled out. No, I've canceled out love to completely. I canceled it out for you and our relationship. We're just retarded for each other.
So I've
So
learned that when you say I'm retarded for you, that
yeah.
means you love me.
And anybody that hears that, I don't care. Cancel us out. I don't like that doesn't do anything to me anyways. Whatever.
Everybody has their relationship
Right.
and the way they communicate.
Yeah.
We're basically creating our own language.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you can, if you're in a relationship and like that. See, relationship is different from love. Like love is doesn't mean like, it's like it's not the whole wedding vows and everything that
Mhm.
I'm like bound to you in so many different ways because honestly, in somebody in my position, from behaviors of what I've seen of people out there
Mhm.
that don't have this understanding of what a relationship
Mhm.
is, they would easily go out and cheat. They would easily get themselves in trouble. Like
Absolutely.
they would actually do drugs. They would get drunk. They would just
Self-medicate,
escape.
all escape.
And that's not what I'm
Right.
about.
Right.
I mean, that's where the karate helps in that respects, and
Right.
a lot, but not just in that arena, but everything else that's going around in my life.
Right.
But so what I did is this hollowness that I felt inside felt really peaceful. Like to know that
Mhm.
I am not thinking about anything consciously. Like I'm not trying to elevate myself to all these different realms that everybody
Enlightenment.
says or enlightenment or what is it? Just astral traveling at the speed of light or
Right.
something like that. Like having these amazing dreams of you feel like you have superpowers of like the spiritual existence. Like you just strip away everything. I didn't want that.
And
And then I didn't want physical existence. What I found is like bliss.
and
Like
you were showing me like the opposites. Like love is on one side of the yin yang, so the other side has to be hate.
right.
You have to know both to understand them.
Correct.
But
But they cancel each other out. It's a
which is
paradox.
where the paradox that we kind of got stuck. We're like, well, what do
Right.
we do with this kind of thing, right?
Right. Because you can't go tip too far on one direction
Right.
because the other has to balance it to be on that equal, like
Well,
that
and
fulcrum.
and you've been listening to Alan Watts and what the Chinese horse story,
Yes, the Chinese farmer.
Chinese farmer. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Alan Watts now.
Yeah.
Haven't listened to it before. I used to listen to there's a musician, a DJ named Akira the Don,
Mhm.
and Don, Akira the Don,
Mhm.
and he does some really cool stuff with Alan Watts. Like he
And
mixes
a lot of others. Yeah.
verses with it, and it just kind of starts to the repeating starts to kind of click with some things, and I'm like, so on my last drive down for karate, I searched out Alan Watts's
Mhm.
talks, and this is a dude from like that was born in 1915,
Right.
and he died in 1973.
1915.
1915,
1915.
yes, and he died in 1973.
Okay.
So I think it was 73.
So you've been
And
fascinated with his journey of discoveries.
right,
Yeah.
because he went through Buddhism, he went through being an actual minister or Episcopal,
Mhm.
like a priest,
Mhm.
to even drowning his sorrows and drinking and alcohol and debauchery.
Hallucinogenics.
Everything he tasted.
Right.
And his things that what he gathered from that from his experiences.
Right.
It's because like there's a really good story about a Buddhist monk called Siddhartha. And Siddhartha was one that basically left the group to go out and sin and explore the world so that he
Mhm.
could understand it. How can a Buddhist be enlightened if they don't know what the temptations
What the
are,
opposite side
what the
is.
feelings
Yeah.
are? How can you say that you understand everything
Right.
is my question. And so basically,
So you're on a journey of self-discovery
I am
right now.
totally on this
Yeah.
journey of self-discovery. But what I have come down to, even when I don't dream, that is the strangest thing. Like we all dream,
Mhm.
but like memories, like
You
my
don't remember.
brain decides to just, like, wipe it before I even get up in a split second. It's wild,
You don't
and
even feel yourself coming out of
I
them.
don't. All
It's
I
just
do is I close my
open.
eyes, and I don't exist.
Mhm.
And then when I wake up consciously and I'm, like, back, it's not like I'm like, "Oh, crap," and it wasn't scary.
Right.
It was like, "Huh, that was the most peaceful feeling I've ever experienced. Do it again." It's like
You have this neutrality and just
yeah,
living in the moment and this peacefulness.
right. So
S
that's what I'm saying is, like, the opposite of things
Yeah.
still puts you in an emotional state or existing in a way that you kind of don't have that balance.
Well, and the Chinese farmer, basically the kind of the quick version is his horse runs away and all his neighbors come running over and they're like, "Oh, that's so horrible. That's so horrible." And he's like, "Maybe."
Maybe.
And then the horse comes back and brings a bunch of other horses with it.
And then the farmers are like, "That's
"Oh,
good."
that's
Yeah, his
fantastic." And
neighbors are like, "That's great."
he's like, "Maybe."
Maybe is the response.
And then I think this is also part of the story is that one of the horses, his son is riding the horse
And broke his leg.
and it's got thrown and broke his leg. And
And that's
everybody's like, "Oh no." And then the next day, the army comes to recruit all the young men and he can't
he
go
can't go because of
because
his
of the
broken
broken
leg.
leg.
Oh,
So
that's good. And the response is maybe.
maybe.
And that's
So
even how we do our Rolling Rogans philosophy. We don't get up the highs, we don't get up in the lows.
we really try to focus on balance. I mean, you're going to swing both
Mhm.
back and forth, but we always seem to, you seem to have reached balance before I did.
I don't understand what happened, but it felt like I just like really I guess people would say the word awake, but awareness
Mhm.
kind of thing. But it was more than that. It's just like any of the things that here physically were not even like desirable or tempting
Mhm.
or even sex.
Mhm.
The one thing that like is like really people get so latched onto.
Right.
Like it
And
was just
addicted
a
to
weird
even.
and addicted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, lust is a serious thing.
Yeah.
It was just like I didn't want any of this.
Hmm.
And I didn't want what people are looking for the other way. Like if they're like floating on top of the world.
Right.
What I wanted was balance.
Which is, I think you are right. There's something about this property that
I
just
must
is
be. I don't
magical.
know. So when I try to explain that in a physical sense or a definition to you of like, I don't know what love is,
Yeah.
it's not like I have this self-reflecting, like I need to go find love. Like I understand what I mean by these things
Hmm.
that don't get me attached to being so controlled,
Hmm.
like something is controlling me in my life.
Right.
I am the master of my own ship.
Hmm.
That is the interesting thing.
Hmm.
So I can't really explain that.
Right.
And people that would hear that would be like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? How could he say something like that? And it's not to be hurtful.
It was definitely hard to take.
Because make no mistake, this doesn't mean like people's lives don't matter. That's not the
Mm-mm.
thing.
And I never got that impression from you.
Because I really do care about people. And I don't know what that is. Like, if that's loving people unconditionally, how they
Mhm.
say that word, or like, the Lord says.
From your behavior, I would say that that's what you do.
Right. But that's
That,
not,
but that's not.
that's not
that-
love.
It's not driving you.
That's
Like
not,
there's not
no.
something driving you to do
Right.
that. It's just who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of I'm on this spiritual exploration or whatever you call it, because I'm like, for our viewers, I'm sure they found out that we really don't like pray to a specific deity
No,
in
we're
a
not
way or whatever,
an
but
organized religion, but we are
we're not
spiritual.
fans of organized religion, but we are spiritual
Yeah.
in a sense, and there is something more than that,
Mhm.
and within I don't know, like it is pretty wild how a lot of this kind of just unfolded, but I wouldn't have come to this conclusion if you're not in this situation, if we aren't in this
Right.
situation. So this is the interesting other side of it is like, I know I'm talking a lot.
Oh, I've got some more coming up.
All right.
I've
Okay.
got some
Okay.
stuff coming.
All right.
There was more to this though.
Okay.
That you want to get rid of the trailer.
Oh, yes, yes,
So
yes.
now I'm going to kind of take over here
Okay.
because that was huge for me.
Mhm.
Because from my perspective, you didn't want to clean the trailer. So you just wanted to get rid of it. But
Right.
for me, this is my safe space.
Right.
This is where I escape when I'm not feeling good, when I'm having a bad reaction, when your mom is too much for me and I just can't handle it, this is my safe space.
Right.
So you basically said, you don't know what love is, and you want me to get rid of my safe space. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you doing this to me kind of thing? And it was really, really difficult to step out of my emotions to allow you to process all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember why you stormed out now. Because in the morning, you told me that you wanted to get rid of the trailer. And I actually, unusually, not my normal self, where when you give me an idea, you jump without the parachute. I sew
Yeah.
it on the way down. That's our saying.
That's the analogy. It's actually in our last chapter.
Right. And usually, when you give me an idea, I poke holes in it and I say all the ways that it won't work or what's wrong with it or things like that. But this time, I was proud of myself. I found all the ways that we could make it work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how things like, okay, this would help pay for the solar and the electricity updates. We can now rent out the spot for hip camp. You know, there's all these benefits to it.
Right.
And I was proud of myself for seeing that at the beginning.
Right.
But as the day went on and I was processing and going through it, of course, you know, and you even said this, that it takes me longer to work through things.
It's analytical.
I'm very analytical, and it takes me a longer time to process.
We have our
things.
differences. Yes.
Right. We have totally different ways of getting to the same conclusion. And sometimes we frustrate the crap out of each other. So later that night, I was looking at possibly downsizing the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was really freaking out about giving my safe space up. And I was crying over that too. Like I just
Wow.
could not deal with letting go of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at maybe getting a smaller trailer, trading this one in and getting a smaller trailer, and things like that. We've talked about it a little bit more now, but your first reaction was, I'm making it too complicated, and you stormed out.
Right.
And that was the last thing that we said that night.
Right.
And that was the night that you stayed up and cried and all this other
that
stuff.
Was,
it was just like the explosion. So I actually, I think the paper fell, but I processed a lot that night. I cleaned up because that was also around the time that you said that too. And I wrote down the things that we need to do to be able to test this so that I'm comfortable with this process.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we're going to test this of me moving back into the house.
Right.
Over like the next month or so. And not do anything with the trailer. I mean, obviously clean it up and...
It has to get cleaned.
Yeah, it has to get cleaned. But I'm going to slowly test this.
Let's back to mean clean. We also have we have actually a roach problem.
Yes, and
we have to really clean it.
We've had the pest control guy coming, but there's still just it needs a very deep clean.
Like you can smell that kind of like cat, like the ammonia smell,
right.
But it's not. We thought it was cat ammonia before,
and now it's
actually
the bugs.
Stench of the roaches,
which is disgusting. And I've been living in it, and so even part of my issues, we're wondering if this trailer is what made me sick.
Anybody want to buy a trailer?
Yeah, the good sales pitch there. But we're wondering if this is what's making me sick as well.
It's very possible.
But, so do I get sick from the dust and the dirt stuff, or do I get sick from your mom? It's kind of a double-edged sword for me. So I've figured out ways that we can test this and see how we can make this work. The other unfortunate part is that your mom is very attached to me, and as the female, there's certain things that I'm going to have to do to take care of your mom.
Right.
We just went bra shopping today. There was bra that fit her better and looked better on her, but she struggled with it. She couldn't get it to fit right, and she said the straps hurt and all this other stuff, and it's made wrong. And I'm like, no, it's not made wrong.
That's the constant fight.
Right. But I found another bra because I know what she's struggling with and my fashion background, that it didn't look as good on her, but she felt more comfortable. And that is going to be honestly more important, that she feels more comfortable in it, because then she's not going to wear it. We have that same problem that we've had with other stuff. But anyways, we're finding out that I'm going to be needing to do things, personal things for your mom a lot more. And
she's choosing you over me.
And that makes sense. You're the son. You're an opposite sex. It's embarrassing for her to
Mhm.
have toileting issues or showering issues.
Right.
Scares the crap out of me. I am so terrified if I'm gonna have the energy to be able to do all this.
Robots,
I know.
hopefully.
I know. So, all of these emotions were going on of getting rid of my safe space and all this other stuff, and one of the other solutions is we have our cousin Celeste next door. I've already talked to her about, okay, hey, if I need a break, if I can't handle it, or if I'm having a big flare up, can I come to her house, sleep over,
Right.
take those breaks when we need? And so if we didn't have her next door, this would be an absolute
This
no.
was never gonna happen
The
until
trailer,
we
getting
met.
rid of the trailer would have never have been able to happen if she wasn't next door.
I honestly don't even think this taking care of mom and doing all this on this property would have happened if it wasn't meeting Celeste and
Exactly.
that opened up.
Exactly. I do believe that we were getting into a lull. We were getting into this comfort, which even when we were traveling in our van,
Hmm.
we would get this kind of itch every 2 weeks.
The 2-week itch.
Yes, that we were like, okay, we got to move somewhere else.
Yes.
And I would equate that same feeling to this, that we were getting complacent. We were getting into this routine that wasn't necessarily a good routine. And you kind of, in a way, exploded with it. So we've talked about having these types of conversations to discuss our feelings more openly so that
Mhm.
even though it hurts us, you're going to make me cry, I'm going to make you upset, whatever, but we listen to each other's emotions about that. It's, I don't think we've ever yelled at each other.
No,
I
never.
mean, probably the loudest you've ever gotten was walking out saying I made this too complicated. But you and I have a really good understanding, I think, of each other.
Right.
And I hope that people listen to this and take some of those tidbits of reflecting and how to communicate.
Just talk it out,
Yeah.
even if it's gonna be
I would say this is also
shocking.
the theory of rogantivity.
Yeah.
That your dad taught us to see it from the other person's point of view. So you saying something like you don't know what love is, I can't take that personal. I
Mhm.
have to ask you questions and understand why you're saying that.
Right.
Where's that coming from? And
Yeah.
work with you together to figure that
Yeah.
out.
A different relationship, probably the response would be, "Are you breaking up with me?" Like,
Exactly.
immediately.
Exactly.
But I'm like, "What is this? What's going on? Why do I feel this
Right.
way?" Because, like, it's not like I wanna go do something bad. It's like, I felt awful.
Yeah.
Like, why am I feeling this guilt and this shame because I feel that way? And I'm
Right.
like, why do you have to feel that guilt and shame
And
for feeling that way?
I was asking you, I don't remember exactly how it went, but I was like, why are you coming up with these ideas? Like, where is this coming from that you're being expected to feel certain ways? And I would say your mom does that. So,
I have a different theory on that. It's actually in light of crazy things that are happening where
mhm,
whether if this is the great awakening, just people experiencing things on their own level,
right.
but that is their old self and their old skin.
Hmm.
And it's basically you have to go that deep and let those things go.
Right.
Like any kind of that feeling of that guilt, that shame,
Right. And
and you
you're,
start to feel free after it because that's exactly what happened after I grieved it.
yeah,
I grieved it realizing that it's not like I need to leave my wife. I need to like get rid of
that was
everything. Like
never in
that
the,
was never the thing. But
yeah.
the fact is I didn't have that same feeling like when you're supposed to have a feeling when you get married or when you meet somebody and you're in a relationship, like, oh my God, my heart is just like
I'd say that's,
fluttering and stuff like this. It's
I'd
like,
say that's what people misunderstand about when you're married for a long time.
yeah.
Because I mean, we've been married over 25 years, but we've been together for
Yeah.
almost 30. I'd say this
Jim
is,
Jeffries would say that's the same flavor ice cream that you've had for that amount of time. It's like you've had
and
vanilla.
you've only had one flavor ice cream.
Yes,
Me
exactly.
too.
Right,
So
right,
that we really only had one.
right,
So, and it's for 30 years. But anyways, and we've been together longer than we have been apart.
right. But that was see, that was the thing is like I don't want to get too far off of like where you're going. It's like
Mhm.
I was afraid to feel those feelings.
It's understandable. Yeah.
And that's just where it's like if you can't feel them, you're not true to yourself.
Right.
So if somebody's like out there like just trying to deny something that they really do feel and they
Mhm.
need to, and it's not saying you act upon it and you just go have a crazy lifestyle like you soil your royal oats, can't roll my R's.
Royal
There you
oats.
go. But you need to address it,
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean it has to be addressed to the world, like you have to tell people.
right.
You just need to come to your core.
And that's the next thing I wanted to say is that you don't always feel like you need to share our stories.
No,
And you almost wanted to stop working on the book, right?
many
Because of that.
times,
Yes.
many times.
But I appreciate you continuing and I appreciate you sharing our stories right now because it's, as I explained to you, why have I gone through 35 years of pain if I can't help people with it?
Hmm.
I need to have a purpose with it. Otherwise, it is complete bullshit and completely sucks. And I think you agree. I've never said that this isn't fair. Your mom says that all the time. This
Right.
life's not fair and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. I don't think I've ever really said that. I've just dealt with it and learned from
You
it and
haven't.
try to be stronger from it.
Hmm.
And
I think you get mad at yourself. I think you get mad at yourself
when
for
I
the
can't do
reason why you
stuff.
can't do stuff.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's not like, why is this happening to me? It's like,
Mm.
what do I have to learn from this? What puts me
Right.
through this ringer
Right.
that I'm going to
And
do
which is
this?
extra special because of the stupid mast cell activation syndrome is I don't even know what my triggers are sometimes
Right.
because they show up 24 or 48 hours later. Freaking weather storms can
Mm,
set my pain off. Like, I don't even know. So I feel like a ticking time bomb. It's hard to learn lessons from that.
hmm.
The only thing I can learn at the moment that's coming to my mind is being in the present moment.
That's a good
And I
place to be.
feel that's where you're at a little bit as well is,
Yes. Living in the present
yeah,
moment frees you from having these,
what
like,
ifs the,
ideology
yeah,
structure of how things should be.
yeah.
It's strange. I can't even
So,
explain how that works. You just have to kind of, when you get to that idea, but it feels freeing, is what I'm saying.
right. And
It's
what
like it's completely, I feel free.
the conclusion that I've come to with the trailer is I'm going to try. I'm going to try to see how my body reacts to being in the house and dealing. Yesterday was a good day. Today was a difficult day. Her energy was real bad this morning, but we still went out. I feel the exhaustion right now. So, but it's going to be like that. I just have to be in the present moment with her in dementia as well, because you can't plan ahead too far with her or, too much in the past because she's always in the past.
Yes.
But everything is in the moment right at that moment. This is definitely a very interesting learning lesson. And so with the trailer, we said everything's temporary. I've even said that with my health stuff too.
Yes.
Everything is temporary.
Yes. That's a
This
good way
this
of looking at
flare,
that.
this flare today is temporary. I can get through it. Okay, today's gone, shot. I have to start again tomorrow. That's the only way one of the only ways I've been able to get through a lot of my pain situations and flare-ups.
And I was talking about having this, not being stagnant, not paralyzed
Right.
will, being kinetic, having this energy to actually pivot and
And
change.
you're calling them micro movements,
Micro
micro
adjustments.
adjustments.
Yes. Because, like, it can be difficult to make a big step.
Right.
But if you can just start to, just turn a slight couple degrees over time,
Right.
you'll see you're in a further position than where you were.
And I will say that that's where you compromised with me on this because
Hmm.
at first you're like, boom, let's do this. We're going to get rid of it. And that was the impression. I mean, you were so heavy quickly on it. And I was like, whoa. And so, as I've explained with this transition of little by little, let me work through this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you giving me that time.
Well, because you thought of things that have elevated it,
Hmm.
like, especially with, like, well, we are ready for hip camp.
Hmm.
We're ready to actually make some income here
Hmm.
because of your health and you're,
I
not
can't
able
work a
to,
job. Yeah.
work a job.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wow, you've actually added to the components of, if we do this,
Hmm.
we would be able to do this
Hmm.
because we have the hookup already for it,
Hmm.
because that's where it was, versus starting to build an actual structure for an Airbnb
Right.
we would be ready and open for business for making some income.
This is a quicker.
And I was like, wow, you figured that out. That's awesome. And I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, we are doing this.
And then
all of a sudden, like, you poked more holes into it.
And I got good holes.
Like,
I poked the sunshine rays.
yeah, but
then you also said, okay, if this does get to be too much, we get a smaller trailer.
right.
Or, which we've talked about before, is getting rid of the van and creating a new trailer, building ourselves.
That was, I like the idea of building a new trailer.
I'm going with that idea too, because we can make it a podcast studio that we can take on like our book tour or trailer,
exactly,
things like that. Because after our lease with our Tesla is up, we want to get a Cybertruck.
Yes.
And I don't care what you think about those. It drives itself. And it's going to be easier for us to get in and out of.
The best raccoon dumpster on wheels.
Yes. Ooh, can I hit raccoons with it?
Yeah, that would be great. We actually can put like the marks on it every time you take a raccoon out.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. But that would be basically those open doors. If you close the door, it opens the other door. If you keep staying in the one spot, you can miss the windows of what you're manifesting.
Exactly.
It's not like,
exactly.
The forces that be is coming and giving it to me. There's a point in life that you can have control of your own vessel.
Change is hard.
Yes.
But there's a lot of times where it's actually better than what you expected.
Right. And something's got to give to get it.
Right. We have found that in most cases, the change was totally worth it. The uncomfortableness. And that's with our logo again, back to that, our yin yang logo. There's a circle on the outside, and it's the best things in life are outside of your comfort zone. That's that extra circle.
Yes. And this is like, even when we talk about this travel trailer and how we won, we didn't have to rent an apartment. We bought this cash.
Knowing that this was temporary.
And we stayed in it for longer than a year.
2 years.
Then we win.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Because if we rented, we wouldn't get our security deposit back possibly, but all that rent that we would put into a place, that's rent. You don't ever get to see it again. This becomes an asset that you can actually, you could sell it, turn it into something else. We can recoup most of the
cost, yeah.
Not all of it.
No.
But
we got our use out of it.
Anything is on top of that is a plus.
Right.
The way I look at it.
Right.
So, and I like the idea of actually getting our own trailer, because we have done a van in the past.
Yep.
And that would be like a smaller space that you could actually retreat to if you had to.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen overnight. So there could be this situation where you're in the house and you have to,
take that break.
Let it go. Cut, like, it is burning your bridges in a sense. But if you burn the bridge, or like you burn the boats, you can't go back home unless you win the war.
I'm sewing the parachute as we go down. And the art room is also part of that parachute.
Absolutely.
I've got that extra space to be creative, and we've already got plans of how to make that more comfortable.
We've got friends that will look out. We can see them. We could see Johnny in Daytona area.
Right.
We could even, like I said, Celeste is there for you.
Right.
It's like those different things. So it's not like this is just a crazy thought.
Changes.
But I feel like sometimes, like when you that's why I didn't mean to offend you on that, say overthink it, is because the overthinking is the person on your shoulder, or the id that's telling you, like, you're not going to be able to do this.
Paralysis by analysis.
If you keep doing that.
That's an old habit that I have.
Yes.
Definitely have.
So and that's a balance.
And that's how you balance
tell
me.
You this is great. You could do this. No, you get this. Those are your pros and cons.
Yes.
But if you start to listen more on losing that balance, then you're basically not.
But I would say too that we do, when we make decisions, we make them the right decisions.
Right.
Or we're like, oh shit.
There's no wrong decision.
Oh shit, that was
No, there is no wrong decision, because a wrong decision is when you can't own it.
That's
if you
true.
own
That's
it,
true.
it is a decision.
Yeah.
Like that's just the truth. So
I think
that's the maybe.
I think that goes back to self-awareness too.
And that's
taking account, responsibility for your actions.
That's the Chinese farmer story with the maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. That was a bad decision. Maybe.
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like we have this trailer now, and now we can hook it up to our Cybertruck, but then all of a sudden it breaks down on the road. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what
But you know what?
you do.
In van life, we learned we always meet somebody that we're supposed to meet when we have those situations as well. So it's, I'm always looking for the positive side of things too. And
I am looking for neither. That's in the state of mind that I
I
am.
know, well, we're different on that right now.
That's what
Yeah.
I have come to the conclusion in this whole thing.
I would say I do that because I have to with the situation that I'm in. I have the negativity constantly in my face, in my body, constantly attacking me.
Mhm.
So I have to choose that positivity. We kind of talked about that before. So I'm trying to balance myself out by finding solutions. There's always a solution. And I'm always trying to look at what lesson, what positive thing could come out of it, because that's my balance for me,
Mhm.
is I'm constantly in pain and negativity in a way. And so that's how I balance it. So this will be interesting. One
Omoshiroi. Interesting in Japanese.
Joe's learning Japanese. Um, the last thing is that we are recording this basically last minute. I actually purposely started waiting a little bit instead of recording right away, because I've noticed once I started changing things and doing the laundry, setting up the room for you and I, how we can put this together, bringing the cat in,
Mhm.
you actually got more affectionate.
Yeah,
I don't know if you realized it or not, but you started cuddling, touching me more. And there was a noticeable difference just because we made that micro adjustment of shifting and just starting to move.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of watching how things unfolded.
Hmm.
And the last thing I'll say is that your mom noticed. We thought we were being all subtle and changing things and kind of maneuvering things,
Mhm.
and your mom could tell something was wrong.
Right.
She didn't understand it when we tried to explain it.
Right.
She doesn't understand that there's certain things that we don't tell her because we know they're going to upset her.
Right.
She's like, well, this is my house too. And we're like, well, yeah, we're trying to make it a better situation. But she doesn't need to know the process that we're going through all that.
Right.
She won't be able to understand it.
Right.
But I thought it was really interesting that she actually felt it. And that shows to me what we've learned in our caregiving classes is that the dementia people, they feel things. They don't understand the
Oh,
what we're saying, things
absolutely.
like that, but they know the emotions. They can feel it.
We are made of energy, and
Yeah.
we can shift that energy.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
Yeah. So that was fascinating. But I'm glad that I've waited to record this tonight,
Yeah.
because I was able to see how things have unfolded so far.
Mhm.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this unfolds and whether we follow through with getting rid of the trailer or not. See if
Yeah,
I
the viewers will be watching, and they'll be seeing a different setup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows?
That's just how things roll with us.
Exactly.
Because we are the Rolling Rogans. Whoa!
All right. Well, I think we're wrap it up for tonight. Yes.
Alright.
We definitely lost power because all the clocks are out. So
Oh.
if we sell the trailer, we're gonna get solar so we don't lose power.
There is a lot of projects that will be
Yes.
happening.
Yes. That's
But
one of the ideas.
right.
We
But
point
that's
ourselves in a direction and have a
yeah.
lot of ideas, and we'll see which one comes out.
I think it's just we have a lot more awareness from the experiences from when we first got married or we met
Mhm.
in college over the times with the challenges that we've had.
Mhm.
But it's like I feel like it is like a bigger awareness, like it is 360.
Mhm.
Like we can see things a little more clearer,
Mhm.
and there's no hesitation to act upon something
Mhm.
because not being bound by some kind of rule.
Right. I'm
So,
actually rewriting part of my book as my side of the book because
wow.
oh yeah, because and I really think that's why it's not out yet is because what's happened in these last 2 years
Well, I
is
got 30
a
pages
major
left for you
major
to
part of the story. So
yeah.
because I've learned so much in the last 2 years here that is totally relevant to the whole story. So yeah, I have to rewrite some stuff. So All right.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Sorry I'm not my jocular self, like, oh, wow, hey, guys, it's the Rolling Rogans, Art of Aging.
No,
That's really,
this
yeah.
we're real. We
Yeah.
want to share the real stuff. We're not giving you just the clips of the highlights of everybody's life, because comparison is the thief of joy. We want to share what some of the stuff that we're going through, and maybe can help some people along
And
their
I care about people.
Yes, you do.
That's all I have to say.
All right. All right, see you down the road.
Bye.
I'm going to pause for a second because I would like to ask for support with buymeacoffee.com/rollingrogans.
I love coffee.
If you would like to support us, there's donations, there's monthly subscriptions. We would greatly appreciate your support through our caregiving journey, and buy Joe and his mom some coffee, because that's their bonding time every morning.